So, over the last few weeks, we've been talking a lot about filling up our own cups and what that looks like. Here's my reasoning behind this. So, I've been talking to some of you guys lately, and I'm hearing you say things like, I don't like seeing myself in pictures. My body hasn't changed as much as I want it to. I am frustrated that I start an eating plan and then I can't stay on track. I'm frustrated that I keep going back to my nighttime snacks. I'm frustrated that whatever. And the problem is when we start with a negative mindset, we get stuck. So, my goal over these last few weeks was to be able to fill up your cup so that we're starting from a place of a positive mindset. So, we're starting from a place of self-love and acceptance and wanting to jump on board this health journey as a way to better ourselves, not as a way to punish ourselves or as a way to restrict a food group and tell ourselves we can never eat that again, or as a way of I'll beat my body into submission. That's not my goal for you guys or for this group. The whole reason that I started doing this is because I wanted to make sure that you were able to see yourselves like I see you guys, which you're incredible women. You're life-giving. You pour love and support and consistency into your families on a daily basis. You make friendships different and better and beautiful just because you're there and you're present. So I really want to focus these next 30 days on filling up our own cups first. And the reason that I want to do that is I want to make sure that we're pressing play from a place of I want to do what's best for me and what's best for my body. So we've talked a lot about our why, but our why isn't going to work until we come from a place of loving ourselves first. So, you know how, I think that I've explained this before, but I'm going to say it one more time. You know how we hear all the time, put on your own oxygen mask first. And as moms, we're like, oh my gosh, that's the dumbest thing ever. If I was in a plane that was going down, I would totally put on my kid's oxygen mask first. Now, I was listening to a podcast a while ago, and the lady was like, you know that saying, put on your own oxygen mask first? Here's why. If you were in a plane crash and you went to go put on your kid's oxygen mask first, and in the meantime of getting on their mask, you ran out of your own air and you passed out, now you can't help out your kid at all. And best case scenario, you got their oxygen mask on, but now they're down a parent because you didn't take care of yourself first. Because then there's nothing that you can do for yourself. So now you're just leaving them to fend for themselves. So she goes, let me explain this in an everyday scenario, because very rarely are we put in a position where we've got to put our kids' oxygen masks on first, or our oxygen mask on first. She goes, let me tell you a story. So kid A comes to you crying. They're frustrated. They're overwhelmed. They're arguing with their brother or sister. And you, as the parent, take a step back and you're like, oh my gosh, the reason that they're throwing a fit right now isn't because they're actually mad about the fire truck or mad about that kid stepping on their toe. The reason that they're mad is that it's 12:10 and I forgot to feed them lunch. So we need to sit down and make a plan. They haven't eaten since 8 o'clock this morning. Of course they're throwing a fit right now. So you sit down to make them lunch. But let's say all you've had today so far is your coffee. So if all you've had for your coffee, you then say to kid A, all right, you've got to get some food in your belly. So you sit down and you make peanut butter and jelly sandwich like they ask for every single day. And you cut it into triangles because that's what they ask for every single day. And you set down that plate in front of them and you give them their peanut butter and jelly sandwich that's cut into triangles on the orange plate, because the orange plate's their very favorite, right? You hand it to them and they lose their minds. Because today their favorite shape is a square, and today their favorite color is green. Well, now you, as the mom, you put on their oxygen mask first, and you hand them this thing that you worked on. Who cares? It's just a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Like, that took your time. It took you away from what you were doing, right? So you hand it to them. They lose their minds. Now you're frustrated, and you snap immediately. Just eat the sandwich. Just, it doesn't matter. Well, who cares what color plate it's on? Like, you intentionally thought about it first, But the problem is you're serving from an empty cup. So, had you taken 5 minutes to drink your shake, or to eat a protein bite, or to eat a breakfast meatball, whatever, had you taken 2 minutes to fill your cup first, when your kid lost their mind and said, today my favorite shape is a square, today my favorite color is green, today I want ham and cheese, you would have come at that from a way different perspective. You would have been able to say, oh, I'm sorry you didn't realize that. Tomorrow, I'll make sure to ask you before I make the sandwich. I'm sorry you didn't do that today. I'm not going to change things for you today. But tomorrow, I'll make sure to ask you first. The reason that you could do that is because you took 2 minutes for yourself before trying to fill up somebody else's cup. So, my goal for you, I've been thinking about this a lot lately. My goal for you over the next 30 days is that you would come from a place of feeling filled up so that when you give, you're not giving from an empty cup. So, in our little challenge, we've got some things that we're going to hit over the next 30 days. Now, for me, I know what I need right now to fill my cup. For me, a huge one is the Unstress meditation app. That has made, or not app, but program. That's making a really big difference for me right now. Another really big one for me right now is journaling. It's not something that I'm good at, but it's something that I realize is giving me a place to sort through my feelings. So whether I'm good at it or not, what I've learned from the mindset mentality on Beachbody is that I do the hardest thing first. So I've tried to be really intentional with my time on taking a minute to journal. The Power Greens, it's not really the hardest thing for me, but I'm trying to be intentional about gut health so that then I can be intentional about myself throughout the rest of the day, if that makes sense. So I just wanted you to hear my heart behind this. The reason that we're doing these 30 days is because I know that you guys are constantly pouring out, and you can't pour out from an empty cup. You can keep pouring, but the problem is then the outflow of that pouring is usually going to be your back breaking, right? It's going to be that straw that breaks the camel's back because you're empty. So maybe you're in a place where your family fills you up all the time, and that's awesome, and I'm really happy for you. Maybe you're in a season right now where work is stressful, family life feels stressful, things are changing and you don't like change. Whatever it is, I just want you to know I've got your back, and I want to help fill you up over these next 30 days. So I'm coming up with my own ideas of things that I really feel like would fill your cup, and those are going to be our posts for the next few weeks, or the next 30 days, I guess I should say. But you guys are going to have your own ideas too. So I'd love to hear below how you guys are going to spend time over these next 30 days putting on your oxygen mask first, filling up your cup first, feeding yourself the protein first, so that then the outpouring is love, not a quick, sudden reaction. You guys are worth it.